Good morning, everybody. Well, we've got a new publication that's coming out for Comics Unlimited, and this is part of the podcast, and we want to talk about it today. So get ready. I want to show you this new awesome book that we've got going on. Be back in a second.
Welcome to the Comics Unlimited podcast with your hosts, Glenn B. Fleming and Ted Davis.
Good morning, everybody. I am
Morning,
Ted Davies.
Afternoon.
How you doing, Glenn? No, you're good, man. It's good. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you doing? Everything's great. It's nice and sunny here, and nice and bright. And I think it's called late spring.
Good deal. What's
it's been raining.
What's the temp in Celsius?
I've got no idea.
It's about 60s here. Sunny though, bright and sunny. So I'll take it. We're sharing the same sunlight, so that's good. Tell everybody who you are.
I'm Glenn Fleming. I'm a writer, artist, and publisher, and I publish Comics Unlimited with my good friend and co-host Ted Davis. You've probably heard of him. Oh, he's there.
Yeah, right here.
And I'm an author, and I've got this on Indiegogo. If you want to get it, this is
yes, you do. Let's bring that up real quick. Okay, tell everybody about that.
This is a book and of my meetings with Jack Kirby at his home in the late 80s, early 90s, and you also get a DVD of me talking with Jack in his studio. So check it out. Historic piece.
It is. It's. I think, like I said, you're documenting and you're sharing a visit with Jack in his home, which is it's extremely rare, and I think that it's going to set the precedent for every person that's going to be interviewed from now on. Hopefully, someday somebody will do interviews of us to that same capacity. I hope. If we're lucky enough. So, but I'm glad that you did it, and I'm my library's better for it. So, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I've got a couple sponsors I want to bring up real quick, just so we can talk. We've got Cashman's Comics in Bay City, Michigan. Check out everything that John Cashman is doing with the new comics, as well as indie comics. He sells my books, and he'll be selling a few of our wares here soon, I'm sure, with Comics Unlimited in-house, hopefully. We also, and say hello to Petey, the guard dog, as well. Check everything that they're doing out at cashmanscomics.com. And then we also have Northern Grounds Coffee, Northern Grounds Coffee, for all your nerdy caffeine needs. Use Caffeinate TED 2022 and save a few bucks when you're ordering Make It So Espresso or Second Breakfast Blend. I've got Waking Dragon in mine. You still don't have any coffee over there, I know. So we'll have to see if we can get you some tea or something. Tea and crumpets or something, whatever you guys have. Huh?
Well, when I come to your house, I'll drink coffee. I always drink coffee in America, but I only drink coffee in America because you Yanks can't make a decent cup of tea. So if you could make a decent cup of tea, I would.
Gotcha. Hey, listen, man, I drink Earl Grey before I have my coffee in the morning. I drink Earl Grey all the time.
No, that's rubbish.
Whatever.
That's just scented rubbish.
It's the truth.
That's what the Queen drinks. She just,
She's had her. Doesn't she have a birthday or something?
Yeah,
Jubilee or something.
It's going on right now. Yeah, there's all street parties apparently, but I'm talking to you.
Yeah, that's good though.
Yeah, I'd rather. Put it this way: if I wasn't talking to you, I wouldn't be at a street party.
Yeah, right. I understand. Just wave that royal wave that they do.
But I do I drove around yesterday, and I do like the fact that there's lots of Union flags flying. They should do that all the time. Every house should have to have a flag flying, a Union flag or a George.
Right. That was one of the things when we went, if we can segue a little bit or sidestep this, when I was over in London when I was a kid, they had Buckingham Palace is so people don't know it's gated off, and it was gated off back then too because they didn't want to let me in for sure. And I remember being up there and you've got the gates and everything, and there's a changing of the guard and everything else, and my parents, it was back in the 70s, so they were by me, but it wasn't like, they weren't like worried about me being taken or anything like that, right? And I was looking through the gates and stuff, and somebody, I'll be damned if some people were prying my hands off the bars so that they could get their kid up there. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So I remember that vividly I'm like, gosh. Okay, so let's say hi to everybody real quick before we start bragging about our new publication, because it's I think it's exciting for me. I'm very excited about it. We have Peter Ryan in the house. Good morning, sir. Donna, the amazing Donna, Carlene, Eric Hawkins. Good to see you, sir. Hope everybody is good. Let's see who else we got. I've got other ones that are coming in, but I don't have them on the screen yet, so just bear with us on that. Okay, so that was exciting last week. I had a few things going on that I had to take care of from my father-in-law. He's doing well. So, but that's why we weren't here. So, but in the interim, we launched Comics Unlimited Book 9.
Yeah.
And that was, this is the real reason why we started this podcast, is to get the excitement around the book, as well as excitement around vintage comics and comics in general, indie comics as well. I have, I'm going to throw this up here real quick. This was the thumbnail that we put up for the show today. It was just a makeshift something, but I wanted to show the cover. You did such a great job on this cover, man. I really showcasing Neil and George, and just just the amazing amount of time that you took and presenting this and getting the articles together and everything else that you do to get this to where it's really a remarkable feat.
It's something I've always done in my career. I always enjoy a different job on the desk every morning, so to speak. That doesn't always happen, because obviously I'll be doing something for a couple of days. But when I was working years ago in graphics, one day I'd be drawing, I was working for myself, one day I'd be drawing Postman Pat, the next day I'd be doing a photo shoot, the next day I'd be making a documentary, the next day I'd be writing. So I had different jobs. The reason I'm saying that is because I do really, really enjoy designing the magazine and doing all the cutouts and selecting the artwork. And I think it's probably because I'm an artist that when I see some artwork, I immediately see what I can do with it. It's not a fluke. And I can cut these things out, and I can also design things. I do a lot of things, but I really do enjoy working on it. And as you know, as people in the chat will know, I used to publish a magazine called Crikey a decade ago, which was about British comics. So Tony Ingram and I, and now your colleague Tony, we decided to carry on or bring Crikey back, but wider audience. That's why it was Comics Unlimited.
Yeah,
because Crikey would just cover British comics, but I designed that as well. I really enjoy it. It's a bit hard sometimes because I don't get time to write an article to go in my own magazine, but that's just life, isn't it? You have to.
Well, it'll happen. It'll happen. And Tony's such a pivotal part of the whole network.
He writes most of the stuff. It's
amazing
incredible
stuff. I mean, and it's and everything is precise, and it's really, when you guys look at the books and when you're seeing what we're putting together here, whether it's an article or just the recapping of people's history of people in comics, it's fascinating stuff. But Tony does a really great job. So
he does, and
I think that it shows already. It's already showing now of what's been it's been up a week. We're doing very well in the US, which is great. I'm really excited about that. One of the things that we did, and I think it's very important that people know this, is that, I don't have I've got the copy. It's actually in the mail right now. I haven't received the new one.
Mine too.
We showed you the cover there. But there are hard copies as well as digital. And that's something that I think, why don't you tell people a little bit about that, what we did?
Yeah, what we decided to do was put them all as ebooks on Amazon as well. And our friend Damien converted them. So thanks, Damien. Yeah. He converted the files.
Thank you very much, man.
And he's put all the back issues on as well. So you can get the entire run, which is 9 issues now. Most of them are 100 pages. I think this one is 88 and the previous one was a bit smaller. But when we get back on track, it's going to be 100 pages again.
Yeah.
And it's a really good read, good articles. We have interviews in there. But with the ebook or or you could contact me and I can send you a PDF or whatever, all these different formats. So hopefully we can reach an even bigger audience. And I'm also contacting Forbidden Planet in the next week or so regarding my Jack Kirby book and Comics Unlimited to go into Forbidden Planet. Now, I don't know about the United States. I think is it Forbidden Planet International where you are?
There might be a international. I don't know. I know that I'm working on the ground level as far as through Cashman's and through another.
Right.
I'm doing it kind of. I want to get a couple of them. Shout out to Eddie D'Angelini out at Heidi Ho Comics in California. We're going to be talking soon. There's going to be a lot of from coast to coast. I'm going to try to get in to certain venues, and then of course we're going to have it. We're going to have it at shows. I'm going to make sure that I have it on the table when I'm doing my shows here. And then when you come over to this country, and you hopefully are going to be scheduling a couple shows with me, if we can do it at some signings. That's going to be kind of a common occurrence. But right now it's Amazon. That way it's a mass. We can get to as many people as possible on that. I want to say good morning to Jody McPhee. We had a little bit of a problem with Facebook. They're saying that I can't see any descriptions or any comments on that. So sorry about that. If you guys want to switch over to YouTube, if you can, great. If not, you can watch us on the replay too. And then of course, Carl is in from yard work. So that's good. I'm glad you stopped in, Carl. Get a drink, relax. Ryan Permission's in the house. And it's really, really good. What's your favorite part of the book? For Comics Unlimited #9.
I think the George Perez thing that Tony wrote is really, really good. And it's just a shame because I will mention Ian Kennedy, who was another artist, British artist we lost this year. He drew. I don't know whether you've seen those little pocket books called Commando.
Yeah, I have.
And he drew Dan Dare. He drew everything.
They had those when I was a kid.
Yeah,
and I remember in Wales they had them.
Well,
at one of the what they call sugar shop, the candy stores that we had down the road from us.
Toffee shop.
That's right. Sorry, that could be a bad term on the other side. Sorry, but yeah, right. Toffee shop.
I think Commando book started about 1967, 68.
Yeah.
Because I used to buy them when I was a kid, and a lot of the artists in those books were sort of 25 then, and they grew and they went to 2000 AD and Eagle and things like that. And I know Cam Kennedy.
Oh yeah,
his artwork. Well, he started off drawing those Commando books, and I had a very, very short conversation with him, and I said to him, just one question, and he said, "What?" I said, "Are you the guy who used to do the Commando books?" And he said, "Yes." And he went.
That's it. That was it.
That was it. But I just recognise his artwork. But yeah, it's Ian Kennedy was about 84, so he wasn't a young man. But
that was a good life, huh? Long. I mean, that's a pretty good life.
And Neil Adams was 80. George Perez is only 6 months. Was only 6 months older than me.
And such a heartbreaking diagnosis and everything else he had a year ago, and it really a shame. But I'm glad, we talked about A Life Well Lived. Neil Adams has got we got a small article in, not really small, but small by the comparison of the amount of work he did. We have a small remembrance of him, a memorial on that.
Yeah.
Excellent, very well done. Now, Tony wrote this one, or did you? I'm sorry, I can't.
Tony wrote this one.
I read it last night, and I'm like, fantastic. And that's, the big thing about the real reason I got involved with this, because a lot of it was, it's so well done. I mean, it's just so well done. It's so consistent. Every book that you've had out, I'm like, I really wanted to be part of this from the get-go, and when the opportunity came up, I'm like, God, it was a no-brainer.
I think what I can say this, but I think that every issue is better than the previous one. I really, really believe that. And I think it's growing, and hopefully we can get it out there, worldwide to the masses and do something with it, in terms of getting it printed and stocked and distributed and things like that.
Right. And that's,
because I'm not sure whether, is Comics Journal still going?
It might be. It doesn't matter. Because I know.
I'm just saying, because if it's not, there isn't anything else out there doing this. I don't think
so.
And maybe
I know that there's other. I've seen there's a couple of publications that specialize in Godzilla, specifically, or Marvel specific. They don't do it as a full umbrella, and that's and you've already got the legwork. And like I said, Tony's just such a man. He's just he's really prolific with articles. I was blown away.
The first thing Tony did for me was for Super Spies, when he had the meeting with Nick Fury. Did you read that?
Yes.
And he was meeting Nick Fury
Right.
in this coffee shop in New York. It was brilliant. It's so funny, and that's why I thought I got to get this guy. And he just writes. He's one of these people who's got 50,000 comics in his his back bedroom type of thing.
I know the feeling.
He knows what he's talking about, and
one of the things that you did too, and I think it's really important, is that we bring in other writers and articles. Jody Mcphee has got one. Shout out to Joe. He's got an article in this particular book. And I think that John Celestri had a few things in there as well.
He did. He owes me an article.
Okay, and we'll talk to him. I'm going to be talking to him after we're done here. So,
and we got Charles Santino's got some stuff in there, and Michael Mead from New Zealand. It's in New Zealand. Which is sort of as far as you can go before you start coming back, isn't it? So
it's the island. Yep.
Yeah, and it does have a good following. And on Crikey, excuse me, on Crikey, I got up to 350 subscriptions.
Yes.
Yeah. So we've not got any subscriptions yet, and that's because I've not really pushed it to get that.
Yeah, and like I said, baby steps.
Yeah, I want a hard copy to be on the shelves before I start giving that kind of detail.
Right.
But I'm hoping that a lot of those Crikey people will come back for this, and I think they will. It's a snowball,
And we're talking in full disclosure, we're going to be offer advertising opportunities. So if there's something that you guys are promoting, or books, or web pages, or comic shops, or anything like that evolves around comics, that's in good standing and is good for the populace in general, everybody, then we'll definitely offer you advertisement page, and we got listing for pricing and that, and you get a hold of Glenn or myself for that.
It's going to be a great opportunity because, as I've said to you before on a different podcast, we've got in Britain alone, there's 150 years of comic book history, and I'm sure it's the same in the United States, and I'm sure it's the same everywhere else. So collectively, worldwide, we've probably got 1,000 years of comic book history. You got manga from the Asia and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that alone, we could have just a publication just on that. Yeah.
Well, we did put out a Golden Age special a few months ago, which is 100 pages. There's lots of good stuff in there. People want to check that out. That's got Godzilla in it as well.
Right, it does.
It's got all sorts of stuff in there, and I think it's even got some stuff that I wrote in there. That would be unusual, but because I'm too busy putting it together. But it's just. We've not even started on the films yet.
Yeah, right.
We don't mention we mention it in the article, but we don't go into the depth on the films. And how many Avengers films are there? Iron Man?
Yeah, and they're growing. We've got two. it's crazy. We haven't even talked about anything when it comes to that. So, and that itself, when we're talking, we want it to be kind of a promotional thing for people, as far as the indie platform, but it's about history of comics in general.
Yeah, we're covering the whole thing.
Yeah,
we want to do comic strips, comic books, graphic novels, and certainly indie stuff in there. As we do have indie, we've got Joe in there for a start. Correct. I've had some stuff in. You've had stuff.
Yeah,
in.
I've had it. Yes,
but I don't think you're indie now, though. I think you're professional.
I'm still indie. I think that we talked about that. I think it's going to be a general. We do comics. We do.
Yes,
we
comics,
write, and that's the way it is. I don't think it's going to even be considered indie anymore.
Really. I think the indie is going to become the new main.
I think so too.
In the next few years, because the other two the big two are not.
Yeah. Well, and they'll still be a mainstay there. They'll still be there, and I think that the way that they're working the angles with the movies and everything else, I think that they're going to be great. I just think that, hey, you're a publisher. You're producing books, great. Okay, when's it coming out? I don't really think it's going to be a normal thing to say, hey, Ted's got a book coming out. It's not about, he's an indie author, he's self-published. It won't matter anymore. It'll be such a general accepted thing. And it's taken decades for that. You've done it,
Yeah, I think that there should be a change, and I think we should try and do this because
we're doing it.
Seriously though, because I think that the word or the term comic books lets us down.
Yeah,
because
it's like funny books. Randy talks about that being funny books, and it's not necessarily that anymore.
And then there's the I forgot what I was going to say.
You were talking about
the term indie will be lost because these people are becoming the new creators and publishers, and the term indie will be lost, and it should, I think, because that has a stigma as well, like comic book does.
It does. Oh, you couldn't get published by a traditional publisher.
That's
that
right.
kind of thing. And it's there's a lot of and even my book Retrieve, it's high concept. I mean, there's a lot of really heavy, really interesting comic books that are coming out from people that are and really setting the stage for a lot of different writing. And like I said, even this to a certain extent is indie in certain respects. But I think that, like you were saying, I think that indie, unless you want to wear that badge, that's fine. But I think that as a normal, I think we're shifting that now. I think it's going to be just, they're publishers. It's just not going to be the.
Well, if we can get a distributor involved, I'm not sure about Diamond because they just seem to cut the throat on prices and stuff. But there must be some kind of distribution network out there, or maybe somebody wants to create one.
We've got there's a couple different avenues that I've been looking at with in the U.S. that might come to fruition, but we're going to kind of do it as grassroots here because I think that we're going to learn a lot on how the distribution model works. I mean, Kickstarter's been great. We don't need to necessarily raise funds that way, but the distribution model is fantastic. Yep. So there's a way that, and we're if anybody has any suggestions on that too, let me know because there's a couple things that we can talk about. But I think that I think on a worldwide level, it's going to be a little bit different. But in the U.S., definitely manageable. And there's ways that you and I are going to talk further on that. Yeah. I think that the book's probably going to get even bigger in time. We're only doing it quarterly. We talked about that.
Yeah.
And that's, we're talking a little bit more about that, possibly bi-monthly. I don't know. There's a couple different ways.
It depends on sales and things like that because the articles are there. Like I said, the history is there. Tony is prolific. Other people are coming in. Michael Mead writes some great stuff about Kirby and all that kind of thing. And if we can get this moving, it'll be amazing. Because I just had a thought then. This is issue 9, and we've almost covered 1,000 pages.
Yeah, incredible. That's incredible. One of the things too is I'd like to see us, and you can jump on this too, as long as it's translated properly. I'd love to see every continent be acknowledged though as an article. There's a writer from each continent writing, or each country, let's say.
One of my ambitions with Crikey was to have in my office or in the Crikey office, which was the plan, framed covers of all the issues, but in Japanese and in German.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Spanish. How good would that be?
That's great.
A whole row of issue #1 covers, 10 covers of issue #1, all in different languages.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
That would be fantastic, wouldn't it? That's that. Sure. And we wanted to try and this is just dreaming, obviously, but to get the actual book all translated into Japanese.
Sure.
So why not?
Why not? The technology's there. We can build it. Just like they used to say in the $1 Million Man. I think that the sky's the limit right now on how we handle it. But I think that we've got a really good format. I think that you've done a lot of legwork on this, so it's not something. And there's going to be articles I'm going to be adding to things too. And I know that we are going to be selective on who we're having as far as what articles and that kind of thing.
Yeah,
like I said, there's certain things that there's certain filters that we want to make sure that we're.
It's not an open house. I'll totally.
No, it's not. House. No, it's not. And it's something, and it's not always self-promotion either. So it's going to be somewhat, but not, it might be something to help, like raise the awareness, if you want to, about comics and about the experiences that we've all had, from digital to original art to traditional art. Two of the artists that we were talking about in the book. I got a Neil Adams over here. Where is it? Sorry, I've got Perez over there, Neil Adams there. But I want to make sure that we're identifying with each article is going to have its speciality. This particular article is really about George Perez and Neil Adams, and I'm sorry, the other gentleman that's how we lost.
Ian Kennedy.
Thank you, Kennedy. He I was reading the article. I didn't finish it last night, so and I know I'm not familiar with him too much. So I'm gonna.
He draws a lot of Second World War stuff, bombers and pilots and that kind of stuff. But they're really good artists. Really,
yeah, I saw the work.
Scotland,
Beautiful,
yeah,
beautiful stuff. And then there's this guy Jody Mcphee. He's got something in there.
Yeah, I've heard his name before. I'm not sure.
He was on TED Talks last Tuesday, or what was it? Sorry, yeah, and he was just he's fantastic. He's
great.
I'm glad that he's part of the. He's been writing, and this is the third one. He said in the chat here. He said he's celebrating the third article in issue number 9 of Comics Unlimited, which is fantastic.
The thing that impressed me most about Joe was when I showed him some drawings of Hatch. I did this flying helmet on Hatch, and he recognized it because he'd been in the Air Force.
Sure, yeah, that's great.
that made my day. That was brilliant.
The Hatch comic that's going to be coming out soon is going to be on Indiegogo, correct?
Yes.
And that one is let's see what we got here. I've got this on the split screen here. Hatch, what's up?
Yeah,
coming in Indiegogo. Why do we know when that's going to be released yet? Or
I'm not sure. I think I've told you it's been ready since before Christmas.
Yeah,
but I got on with this Kirby book and all that kind of thing, and got waylaid doing other jobs. But it's all ready. I'm about halfway through the third book at the moment. I've been drawing that, so I don't know whether to put the whole thing out or just the book out, if you understand what I mean. Put everything out. I might just put everything out and just see what happens with it.
And we'll figure it out. Yeah.
I'm also getting into the animation part of it as well, so I'm learning about that. So
that's good.
That's where I want to go with him, because, like we've said before, he's definitely a cartoon character.
Absolutely,
animated character.
Absolutely, I could see that. A bunch of YouTube shorts, and then all the way through into, in having being picked up. I think it'd be. Definitely.
I just don't have enough hours in the day, because I'm writing 2 science fiction novels and a part of my autobiography at the moment. So,
and the autobiography too. Wow.
Yes. Listen, I've written. An average book is about 75,000 words.
Yes.
Well, I've written 85,000 words of my autobiography, and I'm not 25 in it.
Yeah, I think you told me that. But yeah, so, I think you. Well, listen, as an author though. You've done so many books. I mean, it's how many books do you have out now?
I think it's 10 or 11.
Okay, so it's going to be 13 soon.
Yeah.
Plus, you've got the magazine, or if you want to call them magazines, you've got the Comics Unlimited and the Crikey history and everything else. So, and then all those years of advertising. I mean, so this is there's no way you can lose as far as getting involved in purchasing any type of work from Glenn. Including Comics Unlimited, because it's between both of us now, so that's good. But you got, I'm excited too with the opportunities that it's going to have for advertising worldwide for a lot of people. People that are set in the U.S. Yeah, okay, we are global if we have our websites and that type of thing. But it's good having it in print as well.
Yeah,
it's good being in a magazine if it's on a Kindle or whatever. That's fantastic. I mean, it's just going to broaden.
I think it's been proven many times over many years that print will never go away, because people we're tactile creatures. We like to feel it and smell it and all this, and all these kind of things with books, and that's why it will never go. I'm not worried that the paper will disappear. It won't.
I agree.
It won't.
I agree. I think that it's kind of going hand in hand. I think that you will. What's nice about books in general. Comic books, reading material, it's low tech. I mean, you don't need a battery to open this page.
Exactly.
And that's, you know what I mean? You don't have to plug it in. It doesn't have to get recharged. You can still do a QR code, which can send you to a website, which is great. The technology is fantastic with your phone and all that. But we wanted to make sure that both those bases were covered. We wanted to make sure that we had it on a digital catalog as well. So that if you are in that type of environment, and if it's easier for you to get that, then try to get the thing shipped and all that, and we understand that too. So, and we're just trying to make sure the bases are covered.
You see, as an author, I like that. I agree with you. The hardback makes it, and it's got a nice spine on it.
Yeah,
and it's a fantastic. I love it. I mean, it's my book. I designed it, but I think it's brilliant, and I'm really happy that I put it in hardback.
Yeah,
because it means something. It's there. You know what I mean? But when you've got Kindle or whatever, and people, that's okay. But
Yeah.
I like to hold the magazine or the book.
I agree. Well, and that's one thing too. I don't really collect paperback books. I collect hardback books, and they're still around. Some of these behind me are 150 years old, 200 years old. Some of them behind me, incredible, you know. And if we didn't protect the comic books that we've got, they'd be rags. You know, you've seen some of my collection. You're some of your collection, same way.
Yeah, falling to pieces.
But I think that's, I don't know. The one thing about us too is that the written word is so powerful, just like a drawing for us. It is such a epic thing. It's such an amazing creation that we're able to put words together. And it sounds corny, and it can change somebody's inspiration for everything they're doing. And that's what you and I both enjoy doing. We're trying to tell stories.
Yeah. I don't know the exact quote, but there's that Carl Sagan thing, isn't there, about a book? He said it's a part made from a tree with squiggles in it, where you can enter somebody's mind from eons ago.
Yes.
Some quote. And it's Carl Sagan. Carl Sagan's wonderful anyway, but he's got he's right on it, and his books are amazing. Books are amazing.
Yeah. And you can transport yourself not just away, but also into somebody else's mind, which is, you know, whether it's an article in Comics Unlimited or whether it's a comic book or whether, you know, one thing about it too, I've been doing, finding the numbers on my, my Grimm 101 books, and hardbacks have sold out more than any of the soft covers.
Yeah.
And so that's an interesting thing. I didn't think that would happen. And I know that when I'm done with the Retrieve series, the 5 or 6 books, depending on what we're completing it with, I'm going to do a trade in a hardback. I think that'll be the way I sell it.
Yeah, I think you should.
I think that makes more sense in the run of it. I'm working on Retrieve 3, by the way, right now. I got it all planned out. Brilliant. And I've got another series that I've been working on, but I didn't tell anybody about. So I'm not going to reveal it here yet, but it's going to be good. So I think
you nearly swore there, didn't you?
What's that?
You nearly swore then, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah. It'll be pretty. You're going to dig it. I'll tell you about it later, but
right.
Yeah, okay. We'll have an announcement about that soon. But yeah. So yeah, I think that the biggest thing about the Comics Unlimited books itself, though, with it being on Amazon, it's going to make it a lot easier for people to get a hold of right now. We are going to have them in stock in a few different places nationwide, but that's going to take a little legwork. So, but we'll get there. And then internationally, they're available. So
Tony asked me a question the other day. He said, there's something I've been wanting to ask me for a while. And I said, what's that? He said, why isn't Hatch in Comics Unlimited? And I said, well, that can be remedied. So
he needs to be.
Get a 2-pager in every now and again, I think.
You should. Absolutely. And there's going to be other people that we're going to be showcasing in the book too.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Other stories. There's going to be some things like that, small run stories, as they're approved. And then we'll go through, we'll see how that happens. But I think quarterly is good. If you guys are in demand that you want more, then let us know, and we'll see how it works out with our scheduling and everything else. And like I said, the advertising, let us know. If you like this, please like and share this out too. That would be really helpful. I appreciate you guys. What else do you got going on right now, Glenn? You got the Hatch?
I'm drawing Hatch. I'm working on the animation, and I'm also, like I said, I'm writing a couple of science fiction novels, which I'll illustrate as well.
Tell the titles.
There's The Amazing Mr. Kuiper that people have been waiting for 10 years, which I'm writing now. And I've got another one that's not got a title yet, but I'm also working on 2 plays that I've had in my mind for.
Really?
Yes. Cool. One's a comedy, and one's not. That's all I'll say.
Okay.
And I've been working on those. I've got so many little things I'm working on, because I'm also working on Super Spies as well.
Yes, which I'm looking forward to.
Getting information on that. And then there was a couple of other ideas I ran at you a few months ago, a few weeks ago.
Brilliant.
I won't say what they are, but for more publications, because I want to build the publishing side of what I do,
I think
and what you do as well.
Smart move. Yeah.
And because it's the magazines, they're good. They are good, and I'm really, and it's not my work, you know. I'm talking about all the people who contribute. Mainly Tony writes the most, but I'm sure he could do with some other stuff coming in for a different voice.
Sure.
But the magazine it's a good magazine, and it gives you a great overview of what we do, comics and history, and stuff like that. And I'm also looking into, again, I told you 10 years ago, DC Thompson, who published British comics up in Dundee in Scotland. They invited Tony and I up there for a couple of days to interview people and look through the archive of their artwork.
Oh, fantastic.
They've got artwork stretching back to 1901.
Wow.
And they don't allow anybody in there. And they invited Tony and I to go.
That's great.
And we did, then Crikey stopped, and, you know, the Borders saga and all that.
Sure.
So we didn't go. But so I'm going to try and get those avenues open again and get up there, because that would be something. So what I would do with that, if it happens, I would interview all the creative staff, or the people who were there, or Tony would, or we both would, or whatever. Look in the archive, get some photographs. I would ask if I could take film, and I'd make a documentary about it.
Oh yeah,
and probably put that in Comics Unlimited, or put it online, or whatever. That's a thought I've got to do. But we have to get up there. We have to sort it out again. Tony's still in touch with them, so it shouldn't be too difficult to open the doors again. It might be different people now, so maybe they wouldn't allow it, but you can only ask. You know, they're not going to call me. But there's a lot of stuff I need to be getting on with, and but the main one now is apart from, and I'm thankful this is every quarter actually, but I'd like it to be monthly, but it's every quarter.
I agree.
And is working on my animation.
Yeah, and I think I think that's a great venture. I think the animation side of it's just going to broaden further your art, you know, and give you a better hold in the marketplace with your internet, your IPs. I think big time. You're going to have a lot of opportunities, especially with the animation side of it. I mean, 2D is great, but when 2D moves and you've got things happening with it, it gets more exciting for people.
I've just been looking at the Blender thing again, and it's called Grease Pencil.
Yeah.
Because last year I told you I was doing the animation, and I was having to learn to be a sculptor, and I'm not working. I don't work in 3D. Helen works in 3D, as you know. She's a ceramic artist.
Sure.
And I was having to learn how to sculpt, and I'm not really a sculptor. And then I only discovered this Grease Pencil a few weeks ago. It's 2D animation, but it moves, it works, and I can just see Hatch on the screen. I can see him,
and it's perfect. It's a perfect marriage. You're gonna. I mean, it really is. I think it's gonna work really, really well. Get the software down, get it out there, you know, and we'll promote it. Absolutely.
I'm really looking forward to working on that. I also see that little red guy behind you. I see me animating him as well, but don't tell Ted Davies.
Which little red guy? Which
to one? Your left, bottom. To your left, bottom left.
Oh, bottom
left.
What?
Bottom left.
Oh, Archimedes. Got it.
Yes.
Got it. We'll in time.
but you might have that already covered.
We'll have to see. I've got a few things that we're doing with that, so we'll have to see.
Yes, I understand that. Yeah. I figured as much.
Yeah. They're so you got the price points on the book as well. They're at $15 is for the 84 pages. Is it 84?
88 this one.
88 pages.
Yeah.
$15 for that plus shipping, unless you do, whatever, if you got Prime or whatever. And then the Kindles are, how much is it? $5.99? Is that correct?
Is it? I think it's $5.99.
Yeah, and that's American. Sure. These are US.
Yeah, dollars.
So you guys know.
Yeah,
but
it's well worth it. I think it's well worth it. I think it's a really good read. I mean, I enjoy it. What I tend to do is I don't read it when I'm putting it together. I read it when
when it's
created the PDF, and I've finished it. And I think
Understood.
This is great. This is great. Tony's got such a great view on stuff, and he's a good writer. He knows what he's talking about. Mm-hmm. He doesn't allow any bias to come through as well.
That's a rarity. That's a rarity.
He doesn't. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what he thinks of, say, off the top of my head, Doom Patrol. But he if I asked him to write about Doom Patrol, he would. He wouldn't say to me, "I don't like Doom Patrol."
It'd be a matter of fact.
Yeah. He would do it, and it would be well researched and well written as well.
Mm-hmm. I agree. The sky's the limit right now. A lot of things are happening. So if you guys are interested in advertising, anything like that, whether it's a small advertisement or a full page, let us know. We'll get you plugged in with the right pricing and everything else, and see what we can work out.
And they can either produce the artwork, or they can send me the information and I'll produce the artwork, whatever.
Sure. But I mean, in the most part, people trust us, and that's the main thing. We wanted to make sure it was that's what I wanted to come into and help with it. I don't want it to be a detriment. I want to make sure that we brought as much as we can to the game, to the table. And I think it's going to be just a fantastic venture. So Ryan Permissa says, I bought my copy of CU number 9 and read it yesterday. Some good articles. Well done. Awesome. Thank you, Ryan.
Some good articles, Ryan. Some.
And that's are we looking for any articles in particular for the next one? Maybe that's a good question.
I've got Tony on it already. He's doing some. I said to him, we need a couple more British things in, because most of it is American.
Yeah,
and we want some British things in there. So that's why we got AXA in there and things like that. I'm looking for anything that's interesting. I know that seems like a get out, but it's not.
Big blanket, yeah.
But if it's interesting, it's interesting.
Right.
But so if anybody wants to write anything out there, you need to get to me between 1,000 and 2,000 words.
Yes.
And
of course we've got there's certain formats. So before you start writing and then sending stuff out to Glenn, make sure that you've got a parameter set and contact one of us so that we can give you an idea, because we don't want to waste anybody's time either. But that's good though, that we have a template that you can kind of get a format. Yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm really looking forward to it. And I think that I think that there's things that are going to happen with it that are going to benefit that we don't even know about yet. I'm really excited about that. That's what I'm looking forward to.
It's getting out there.
And once we get them into some shops here too, it's going to make a whole nother, and having them in hand at conventions too is a big thing. I'm looking forward to that.
An ambition of mine is to be invited to the San Diego Con or the New York Con, and not have to spend 16,000 million pounds on a table to sell 3 copies.
Yeah,
I want them to. I'll go there when they invite me
as a guest. Yeah,
as a guest.
Understood.
And then I'll sell that, and then I'll nip to Artist Alley and sign a few books in there and do that.
Sounds good. And George Medina's in the house too. Good morning, George. Congratulations on all your success on everything that's going on with your Kickstarter. It was a very good for Wonder Duck. He did really, really well with that. And thanks for everybody who supported that campaign as well. I think we're about there, man. But I think the Comics Unlimited number 9, you guys can check it out. We got the link at the beginning of the chat, and I'll also put the link in on the description after we're done with the show. What do you got going for the week, man? Anything good?
Same old. I've got to get this Hatch book finished, then I can get on with this animation, and maybe the other things. The other things keep getting pushed to the back burner at the moment.
Sure.
But you can only do one thing at a time, and I'm really looking forward. I'm itching, actually. In fact, next week, if I've not finished this Hatch book by the end of this week, I probably will go into the animation, because it's driving me crazy, and I can't sort of fully concentrate on one. And I don't like to be diverted, even though it seems like I've got a lot of things going on, which I do.
You do.
I do put 100% concentration into what I'm doing, and I'm finding it really difficult, because I'm drawing this guy on board, and I'm seeing him move, and I want to stop that just for a while and just get this blender thing done and get
understood.
I want to produce a 10 or 15 minute short, and I want to do some. I don't know whether I'm presuming we can do this. I meant to mention this to you. When I've done this animation, I want to give it like a world premiere on Ted Davis Artistry or something, and get it out there, make a big deal of it, get it shown. I might even release it to the place where I did the Kirby thing at the theatre in Oldham, that kind of thing. That's
and I think that and there's going to be there's a few connections too that you're actually going to meet next week.
Yeah.
And then we'll be announcing that later. But yeah, there might be a few things that you might be connected to with that too, that could be really beneficial for you. I mean, because really, when it comes down to it, that type of animation, that's a resume. I mean, and it's a recipe for success. Because I think that if you get it in front of the right people, that's all it takes.
Yeah.
You see a lot of these short animations at the Cannes Film Festival and that's how they get on Netflix. That's how they get these huge deals. and they're easy to produce. I mean, all in all, once you know the software and know how it works. Yeah. So I mean, it's all connections. You know that.
I would obviously willingly sort of hand it over to somebody who's got experience to do it, but I'm the kind of person, I want to do the first one.
Right.
You know? And I think it would be a better deal for me to approach somebody with an actual film of him moving than storyboards and scripts and whatever.
I agree with you. To
show them exactly what I'm thinking, and then I can hand it over, because I don't want to do that forever, because I'll have 15 other things to do. But it would be really nice, you know, if Pixar ring me up tomorrow and want to buy it for $4 million, and I'm there.
How much do you need? You know, right? Get the check, get their checkbook. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for allowing me to do this and allowing everything to fall into place with the Comics Unlimited podcast and everything else. I appreciate everybody else stopping in too. We're excited about it. I'm sorry I don't have the hard copy that I wanted. It's in transit right now. So, but as soon as it comes in, I'll be bragging about it on my pages and everything else. And I'm sure we'll have it by next week on the show. Cool. All right. Well, try to have a good week. Stick around. I'm going to talk to you after the show here, guys.
Yeah.
And if you need us, you know where to get a hold of us. TedDaviesArtistry.com or anything Glenn B. Fleming, whether it's social media or
for Comics Unlimited, go to Comics Unlimited Magazine at gmail.com. And you can speak to me there, or Facebook and all the usual places.
Yep. Or I can get you the information to you, whatever. Just let me know. It's how we work it. And like I said, check out everything that's going on with this with the articles. There's just so much happening with what we're doing, and it's just the beginning. So
very exciting.
It is. So thanks again, guys. We'll be in touch with you this week. I think this is pretty much it for the week for Ted Davies Artistry on YouTube and that. We're going Drinking with the Davies we're only doing this once a month now because we're getting back into the weekends and all this other stuff at the market, and I've got a lot of shows happening right now. So we're continually growing as it moves on here. I'm going to be talking on TED Talks next Tuesday. I'm going to be talking with Tim Hunt. He's a producer for the Capital City Comic-Con in Lansing, Michigan. That's going to be coming up here in July that I'm going to be attending. And we're looking forward to that. He's going to tell the ins and outs of the comic convention scene and promoting it and how to get dealing with agents and stars and everybody else, and it's a lot of fun. It's going to be a great show, and I'm looking forward to talking with him about it. So okay, I'll talk to you soon, man. Get to writing. All right, bye.
Welcome to the Comics Unlimited podcast with your hosts Glenn B. Fleming and Ted Davies.